WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Bunnahabhain, 12-year-old cask strength 2021 edition. Yay, 55.1% ABV. Whiskybase number 194125. Here it is. Bottled on the 18th of August 2021. I basically paid 75 euros for this. It is now going for 125 euros. I fear that Distill, that is the parent organization that owns Bunnahabhain, have seen the prices on the secondary market and are going to maybe increase the next edition that's going to come out. There'll probably be a 2022 edition once a year. This evaporated basically over here in Europe. As soon as it hit the market, everyone was like, Bunna 12, we like. Bunna 12 cask strength has to be fantastic. I buy, I want. I have the fear of missing out, and maybe rightfully so. So let's take a look at this. This is kind of cool. I'm not gonna hold this correctly. What is the correct way? I think it looks like this. All right, so here we have the lid. Maybe you can see this a little bit. That's Islay. I have to change it around a little bit here. I will be, if everything works out correctly, on May 1st at 3:00 p.m. at the distillery in Bunna doing a warehouse tasting. And why do I say that? Because this is exactly the experience they wanted to try to give us. They were like, hey, not everyone can come to Islay, not everyone can do the warehouse tasting. Now we want to provide the people out there in the world with the same experience. Now, the thing that happens in the warehouse tasting is you get either a bourbon cask in your glass or you get a sherry cask in your glass. You can't put both and then mix them. All right, so this is not a single cask. This is still a vatting of sherry and bourbon. But I'm definitely sure, after smelling and tasting in my German video, that the sherry is more than in the normal Bunna 12. All right, here's the normal Bunna 12, 46.3%. Here we have 55.1. I can get this for under 40 euros over here in Europe. I hope I'm saying this right. What do I pay for a Bunna 12? Good question, Jason. Bunna 12. So, Bunna 12, whoops, here we go. Bunna 12 is going to cost me somewhere along the lines of, less than 40 euros. You can get it sometimes for 35 or 36 or something like that, but it's going to be just slightly under 40 euros here. So, first of all, there's something I want to read. Here it says 12 natural color, unchill filtered, product of Scotland. Here it says natural color, non-chill filtered, product of Scotland. Is there a difference between unchilled and non-chilled? So I would misunderstand unchilled filtered, unfiltered. So that's what I read. But non-filtered, it would be the same. So it's non-chilled, it's unchilled. All right, good. 46.3%. 2013, Distill bought the Bunnahabhain distillery. Since then, I think they've been doing very, very good things there. Thank you very much. Well done, well done. Now here, you can see it's a little bit darker, the 12-year-old cask strength, because there's less water added to it. All right, here we have water, here we don't. Here we have more bourbon casks, here we have more of the sherry casks. Here we have 75 euros, here we have basically half the price for this over here. Now, as I said, this is going for twice that, so 125, 130. So you can get, at the moment, you get 2 of these for 1 of these in cask strength, 55.1. What would I do? Does this taste twice as good? In my personal opinion, it does. Does it even taste 4 times as good as this? Not sure. I think that Bunna 12 will cost in Germany, the next time it appears, 85 to 90 euros. So I think they're going to raise the price because this was gone within days, if not hours. I was very, very lucky to get even 1 bottle of this. The more I smell this, the more I like this. This has some figs. This has some of that raisin cherry. This has some of the wood. This has some of the leather. This has 55.1% and it's just about perfect. I gave this a solid B in my German. I might actually go to B plus here. I really, really, really like this. This just is totally in my wheelhouse. Excellent. The normal 12-year-old, I do get what I get a little bit more of a plastic moment in here. Uh, Everything, I get a little bit of raisins, I get a little bit of figs, I get a little bit of wood, I get a little bit of a leather moment here. But on top of that, I get a tiny, tiny little bit like a plastic rubber, as if someone did a burnout with their tires a little bit. There's a tiny little bit of that in here. And that actually disturbs me. A friend of mine, a fellow YouTuber in Germany, his name is Friendly Mr. Z, Sasha. He actually did a blind tasting in German. What he did is he had 6 Bunnas, and 3 of those were the last 3 editions of the Bunna 12. So it was blind, no one knew. They knew they were drinking Bunna, but they didn't know which Bunnas they were drinking. The Bunna 18 was there, this bottle was there, the predecessor to that, and to the predecessor of that one was also in there. And of course, we would have thought that the older Bunnas would have been better. There was even one that wasn't 46.3%. I think it was 43% originally. That was also in there. Guess which one won? Not the 18, this one. The new Bunna 12 tasted the best for the people blind tasting. Amazing, because I keep on saying, hey, the older Bunnas taste better. I've done a comparison where I've tasted them and done that, so on. And I like the older better than the newer. But apparently I was either influenced by my sight or influenced by my desire to say older was better than new. It's this is good. This is that on steroids, and this is not. This is just a little bit too much of that, of the vanilla moment in here from the bourbon, and this has, I'm going to say almost too much of the sherry in here, but I like it. It's not too much. It's exactly right. Maybe you've had a double chocolate cake before, and it's like there's too much chocolate. There's never too much chocolate. And there's never too much sherry with your Bunna. And this is, if I'm at the warehouse tasting, I'm going to go for the sherry single cask. I'm going to ask and then woo and see if that works out or not. And hopefully I might remember to bring a little sample or something like that here of this. Fantastic. Nose, definitely a B. Now, the thing is, I do get a little whiff of a sulfur moment in here. And if I add water, which I actually did, I diluted it down to 46.3%, roundabout, and the sulfur comes out more even on the taste. Here, it's just very barely detectable. It's there, but the sherry goodness is much, much stronger. All right, cheers. Wow. I'm going to bump my B up to a B plus. I really like this. Question of the day. What is your favorite Bunnahabhain product? Anything? I think this is my favorite ever. I really, really like. There's a thickness. There's that figs and the raisins and the wood and a little bit of sweetness. There's a tiny, tiny little bit of sourness in here. The sulfur is not even detectable anymore. Very good. Now, if I think about it and I search for it, I might be able to find a little bit, but it's barely there, and I'm fairly sensitive to sulfur. There's one guy online at Whiskybase. He wrote, I couldn't drink it. It was too much sulfur. He's over sensitive. I'm just sensitive to sulfur. Wonderful feeling. It has some transitions. Many people wrote that this is very thin. Not thin. They wrote it was a little bit less complex. To be honest, I don't actually miss any complexity at all. It might not have 30,000 layers, but it has enough layers that I, as a somewhat not normal whiskey drinker anymore, can say it's more than enough to suit all my needs. This is more than enough to actually excite me and make me want to drink another sip and enjoy this whiskey. The 55.1% are so well integrated that it's like, this doesn't need water. Why would you ever want to add water? This is magical juice here. Just enjoy it the way God created it. I like this. B plus. Value for money. At 75 euros, at 70 pounds, I'm going to call this actually a steal. I'm going to give this a C plus for value for money. Almost a B minus. If you are a fan of Bunna, if you have ever tried a Bunnahabhain 12-in-1, that's very nice. I'm fairly positively sure that you're going to love this. Now, the problem is availability. This sold out within hours, if not just 2 days over here in Germany. It's sold out in the UK. There's a pent-up demand for this product on the market. This is available basically everywhere, and most people like this. If you ask someone, hey, what's the best single malt under 40 euros? Many people, I'm going to say many people would actually recommend this. Aaron 10 would be in the online community at the moment the thing they recommend more because of Ralphie and also because of Aquavit. But if we go back maybe a year or two, I would say most people would actually say Bunna 12. And so this is something a lot of people have tried, a lot of people have enjoyed, a lot of people have actually bought. And then to have this as the cask strength version of it for a price which is just double, do it. If you see this and it's affordable, buy it. Enjoy it. Share it. And also, please write back and tell me how did you like it. I hope you really liked it. It does have, it's not even 90 points on Whiskybase. It's 87.44. We have a couple people giving it 94s, 93s, 92s, 91s. The lowest score is a 70. I don't know why he gave it, but everyone else is in the 80s. So that's just fine. So I think that was the guy with Sulfur, wasn't it? What was it here? This guy, actually, I'm not going to name his name. He gave it 70 points. He actually tested it on the 31st of January, 2022. He did a blind tasting, and his first impression was slightly smoky, sulfured sherry. Then the second time it was lighter fruit, less sulfur, and an appetizing amount of oak. Then some oloroso came in here, oranges, delicious. He wrote down the word delicious and gave it a 70. Wood and sulfurized young sherry in the mouth, tree sap and some resin. Okay, woody, fruity finish. Well, I've drunk worse sherried whiskeys, but the sulfur spoils the tour again. So he would rather have a Glenfarclas 105. He had that egg sulfurness here, just didn't want a bottle as a present. And that's a problem. If you're oversensitive to sulfur, no. If you're a little bit sulfur sensitive, probably. If you're not sulfur sensitive, buy. And that's the thing here. There's a tiny little bit of that sulfur there. Mouth-watering, thick, enjoyable, exciting, delicious. All right, so the 12, just in comparison. You notice the difference in the ABV immediately. 46 is almost thin compared to the 55.1. Here we have a lot more of that woody, old, I'm going to use the word older oak moment here. There's a little bit of a dryness, a tannin, and a little bit more of a vanilla, and much less of the fruit here. The aftertaste, I have this tiny little bit still of that rubber, of that burnt tire rubber here, which really detracts from that wonderful taste of Bunna. Here, fabulous. Nothing wrong with this at all, except for the sulfur. All right, So what is your favorite Buna product? Write it down in the chat. That would be great. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling others, maybe even putting this post on to social media somewhere and say, look at Jason over here and WhiskyJason over there in Germany, just absolutely oohing and awing about the Buna 12 Cask Strength. I have no idea if it made it to the States yet or not, or to other places of the world, but it did make it to Germany just last month, and it was worth every penny I paid for it. A B plus for the value for the taste, and a C plus for value for money, despite 75 euros. All the best. See you soon. Bye bye.